El Mencho financed Los Chapitos Sinaloa cartel faction, reveals Harfuch. The cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación supported the Chapitos faction of the Sinaloa cartel against rivals Los Mayos, providing financing as well as combatants, revealed Mexico's security minister today.
Vélez sent $10 to...
During La Mañanera del Pueblo press conference on Tuesday, June 16, 2026, Harfuch stated, at some point, there was some kind of funding or personal reinforcement from Southern Sinaloa. Nothing more. Just financial and personnel reinforcement. From the Jalisco cartel to the Sinaloa cartel faction, he confirmed. The way he says it, nothing more. Well, I mean, what else? Are we missing something? What else do we need? Now, you make an alliance. The what have you done for me lately of it is, all right, what you bringing to the table? Well, I got soldiers. I got some paper. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to this. You know? Maybe the Chapitos knew what these guys were going to get out of all of this. Routes and territory or whatever. They were like, yeah, man, there's a cost for that shit. Or do y'all think they dead broke? Coño, man.
Coño, man.
Which one is it? War is expensive, but not if you let Ivan's Instagram tell it. If you let Ivan's Instagram tell it, shit. Got all the money. According to Harfuch, there are currently no indications that this alliance has continued after El Mencho's death in February 2026, as Mencho was personally in contact with Los Chapitos. Do y'all believe that part? A lot of people asked after he passed away or was taken out, after he got his cartel award, lifetime achievement award. Everybody said, what does this say for the alliance? We didn't know. Your boy Harfuch is saying, no Mencho, no alliance. They're probably not dead broke, but running a little low on funds. Enough to invite the enemy. No? Enough to open the gates. They needed something. They didn't go for help for nothing. They needed. It was needed. But here we are. It's still going. That war ain't slowed down. Not that we've heard of. Ivan's low on money and on time, I think. Man, we've been saying that shit, the time part, for a long time. And I'm, again, this was a war that some thought would end quickly. Shout out Velez. If he was personally in contact like that, they probably turned him in. Coño, man. So that's a bad deal. But again, if they are indeed responsible for every conspiracy theory or every accusation thrown their way, there ain't been a villain. Marvel ain't made a villain. DC ain't made a villain quite like these motherfuckers. Shout out Snooker season. But Les might be onto something. It sounds like Harfuch said it very matter-of-factly. According to Harfuch, there are currently no indications that this alliance is continued after El Mencho's death in February. I would ask another question then. So then if there's no longer an alliance, why didn't the war end? Right? If they needed the alliance to stay in the war, but now the alliance don't exist, how are they still fighting? How do they still exist? Hmm? They needed it. If it's not there no more, what happened? They don't need it no more? I don't know. Following the betrayal of El Mayo Zambada in August 2025, the Sinaloa cartel violently erupted with the Sons of El Mayo battling the Sons of El Chapo for control of criminal groups and territory. Well, that's the government making it official. We saw videos of guys with guns and camouflage vests and all kind of shit. And they said there was an alliance, but everybody still asked, you think it's a real alliance? You think it's a real alliance? Well, they're saying there was an alliance and it had to do with money and personnel. And Batman over here seems to think that that alliance is over. Then I ask you, why hasn't the war ended? Why hasn't the war ended? Where are they getting the personnel and the money from now? Shout out Cody. I always wonder how much of their dad's money they have access to. A lot of people have those wonders. They wonder where the properties go, whether, you know. I feel like all of that shit starts getting picked apart like pigs if you can't protect it. As far as the money, yeah, you know they still have access to something. Who knows how much, but evidently it ain't enough if they had to call their enemies for help, you know. And what? He dies. They gave up money. They gave up personnel. He dies. And the alliance is over. I don't understand how that makes sense. They got into that. They put money in there. They put personnel in there to get something out of it. They're not just going to be done with it because he's gone. They supposedly trying to get Emma to give them some of his properties. Go on, yo, man. She got the stuff, huh? That's right. She does got the stuff. I wonder how much pressure they put on her. These guys, do these guys think that they're fighting a winning game? Like, what? I feel like, I don't know. Once they start hawking her for properties and shit, it's like, hey, shouldn't y'all be concentrating on the war right now? I don't think the alliance is over. In some capacity. There has to be some capacity where somebody's like, hold on, we brought bodies and bread over here. We're going to get what we're going to get out of it. And I would assume if the Chapitos went and made an alliance, that they needed the alliance. And for it to just be over and them not needed no more, I would have think this shit would have been over with. But what do I know? I saw that one time they were supposedly telling her to hand things over. She got pressure on her. Chapo's wife got the stepchildren in here trying to get this money, fight this war. But it has been acknowledged in front of the world by Omar Garcia Harfuch that CJNG was financing and bringing personnel numbers up for the Chapitos. That's official. All that other shit, who knows? I think Emma left Mexico because they were trying to kill her, threaten to right around the time she turned herself in. Yeah, she couldn't run forever. No respect for his dad's wife. I don't know how much respect, you know. The respect that was taught around these families was defined differently than what it really was. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not the type of respect you and I have. This shit's different. Ain't no respect. What's the next step? Respect be damned. They're probably older than her and shit. I think they are. They're definitely older than her. We're living in a different world than when we started this channel. We started this channel, Chopper was in there. Now everybody's in there. Miles in there, Mencho's gone. The boys done lost their alliances according to Harfuch. But I don't know that that's it. Everybody just break off and go their own way, then something should have ended. But for the trillionth time, if the Chapitos actually are responsible for all the things everybody says they're responsible for, fuck Thanos, Skeletor, Gore the God Butcher, any villain you could think of, I think they have to focus on reconstructing their situation, even though they would benefit from the help of the Chapitos. They definitely got some restructuring to do. I don't know. Have y'all heard anything about infighting between the four letters about this power struggle? We have to look more into the Jardinero side of it. What did he give up? Who gave him up? But has there been infighting? I don't know. I just would think that if the alliance was over, and let's just say they represented half of the Chapitos' muscle, if the alliance was over and that half was gone, maybe those are the L's we've been seeing. We've been seeing some L's lately, no? The alliance is very important for both sides. The Chapitos have the routes and CJNG has the manpower, so they both need each other. Shout out Aiden on the check-in. Appreciate you. Indeed. Indeed. They definitely need some restructuring. Dan las cosas. Everything's real shaky for these guys. But not if you ask their fans. If you ask their super fans, they'll tell you, todo tranquilo, nothing to see here. No worries over here on this side. Meanwhile, it's all emotional.
Emotional, damn it!
Who getting the better part of that alliance? When? Then or now? That's the question. Before February when Mencho got knocked down, or now? Before, they had the benefit of his mystique, his name, what that came with, the disgusting legacy that they build. They had that. Now they got a bunch of motherfuckers that don't know who's the boss. They waiting on Tony Danza over there and shit. You know? Shot Tony Danza. Yeah, Tony Danza, man. They looking for the boss. When was it better? When was the alliance better? Now or then? Right now, what they got? Bodies, nobody know who to send where? I don't know the situation. Or, like some of you have suggested, that the Chapitos put an end to Mencho anyway, and they had all of this in their contingency plan and they weren't betting. Man, we're making them. Lex Luthor's brains ain't got shit on them. Hit that like button if you have yet to do so. But that's the question. When was the alliance going to benefit them more? With him or without them? Without him. I think with them. And in that turn, we knew that didn't look good for them. We knew that CJNG was getting the better half of that alliance. You know? Why? Because the Chapitos had to go get their help anyway. So just them having to do that lets you know who's benefiting. Even right now, I think Jalisco's getting the money Jalisco's getting from the alliance is better. The better part of the alliance. Okay. If everything is still going smoothly, listen, the price of the brick ain't up on the street. You know, things are business as usual. We regular around here. Shout out Kenny. My opinion is I don't think the pizzas took them out. They needed them. Seems that way. But not so there's two wrinkles to that. That then the alliance must still be in effect, because if they needed them that bad, they definitely not losing all of these people and then still being in the midst of this war. So that's two things. They needed him. He got taken out. Now they got what they got. But if the got what they got, if the scraps that they were left with end up disappearing, I would think that would, if they needed them that bad, that would hurt their strength. But who knows? We can have a million possibilities, a million theories. Who knows if we'll ever even know the truth? I think the new management of CJNG might want to be more low key. You think they hashed it out that quick? I wonder. What, February, March, April, May, June. It's been a long time. We've heard yogur. We've heard, Jaldinero. We heard some other guys. We heard El 03. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's that simple. But the government saying is that the alliance no longer exists, and I'm saying I don't think so. I think it does. But if they did take them out, then it's like you said, they will go down as the illest villains of all time, bro. If everybody attributes to them, if the sun don't come out tomorrow, it's their fucking fault.